The preview for February suggests a storm of events that refuses to stay quiet. Everything feels tightly knotted, as if each choice made by one character presses painfully into the fate of another. The month opens with tension already thick in the air, and no one in Port Charles seems able to escape it. Secrets are not just hidden, but actively poisoning the people who carry them. And loyalty is no longer a shield, but a liability. This is a story about desperation, about the cost of protecting family, and about how the truth can become more dangerous than any lie. At the center of it all stands Sonny, a man who has lived his life balancing power and responsibility, violence and protection. This time his stakes are not abstract. They are personal, immediate, and unforgiving. Michael is accused of shooting Drew. And even though Sonny and several others believe with absolute certainty that Michael is innocent, belief alone is not enough. In Port Charles, perception often matters more than truth, and Michael has become the most convenient suspect. His past, his temper, his complicated relationships all combine to paint a picture that law enforcement and public opinion are ready to accept. Sonny sees this clearly, and it terrifies him. He knows that if Michael goes down for this crime, the damage will not stop at a prison sentence. It will shatter what remains of their family and confirm every dark assumption people already hold about them. What Sonny does not yet realize, at least not openly, is how close the real truth sits to him, breathing in the same rooms. The shooter was Willow. This revelation, already known to the audience, changes everything beneath the surface while leaving the characters scrambling in the dark. Willow did not only shoot Drew. She was also responsible for the medical crisis that followed, the stroke that pushed Drew to the edge of life and death. Michael's innocence is absolute, but it is useless as long as Willow remains hidden behind her role as caregiver and grieving wife. Sonny senses that something is wrong, though he cannot quite name it. He knows Michael would never pull the trigger, but knowing who did is another matter entirely. Faced with the ticking clock of the investigation, Sonny does what he has always done when cornered. He looks for another path, one that bends the truth just enough to protect the people he loves. His attention turns to Sidwell, a man whose shadowy dealings have already tangled with Sonny's own. Sonny understands how this town works. If Sidwell can be framed convincingly, if the narrative can be shifted, then Michael walks free. There's also a selfish motive layered beneath the paternal instinct. Sidwell has been blackmailing Sonny with photographs tied to Dalton's death. These images represent a quiet threat, a reminder that Sonny's past sins are never truly buried. If Sidwell is arrested, those photos lose their power. Sonny saves Michael, and he saves himself. Yet this plan is far from clean. Sonny is not just manipulating circumstances. He is poking at a hornet's nest. Sidwell is not a man who accepts defeat lightly, and Sonny knows it. Every step he takes toward shifting blame increases the risk of exposure. The question hangs heavy over him. Is he outsmarting his enemy? Or is he setting himself up for a fall that will be impossible to recover from? Sonny has survived countless storms, but this one feels different because it is built on lies stacked upon lies, all while the real truth festers in plain sight. As if Sonny's troubles were not enough, another threat moves quietly in the background. Marco has not let go of his grief or his anger. Months have passed since Natalia died, but time has not softened the blow. To Marco, the world froze the moment his mother was taken from him, and everything since then has been shaped by that loss. Even though Sonny did not kill Natalia, Marco refuses to accept any version of reality where Sonny is not responsible. Grief has hardened into obsession, an obsession into a desire for vengeance. Marco is convinced that justice will never come through lawful means. If Sonny is to pay, it will have to happen in the shadows. This conviction pushes Marco toward dangerous decisions. He considers hiring someone, arranging an attack that leaves no fingerprints leading back to him. The idea of striking Sonny from the dark offers a twisted sense of balance. It would mirror the pain Marco feels, sudden and devastating. Yet this plan, like Sonny's scheme against Sidwell, carries unintended consequences. By moving against Sonny, Marco may unknowingly open a door for Sonny to act more aggressively against Sidwell. Chaos breeds opportunity, and in the confusion of threats and counter-threats, lines blur. Marco believes he is taking control of his narrative, but he may be stepping into a game where he does not understand all the players. While these power struggles unfold, Drew lies trapped in his own private nightmare. His condition worsens, not necessarily in visible ways, but in the cruelest sense possible. There's hope that he may regain consciousness, and in a way, that hope becomes its own curse. Drew begins to surface, aware of his surroundings, aware of the truth. He knows Willow attacked him. He remembers the moment his life was violently altered, but his body betrays him. He cannot speak. He cannot move. His mind screams while his body remains silent, locked in stillness. This state of awareness without agency is torture. Drew watches Willow hover over him, playing the role of devoted wife and caretaker. To the outside world, she is compassionate, attentive, self-sacrificing. To Drew, she is his attacker, the person who stole his voice and his future. Every touch, every whispered reassurance becomes a reminder of his helplessness. He tries again and again to signal the truth, to blink, to twitch, to do anything that might alert someone. Nothing works. His efforts dissolve into exhaustion and despair. The tragedy deepens because Willow's position gives her complete access to Drew. She controls his care, his environment, and the narrative surrounding his condition. If Drew deteriorates further, no one will question it. Stroke victims decline all the time. Death would be tragic, but not suspicious. Drew senses this. He feels death creeping closer, not as a sudden event, but as a slow erosion of hope. The person who could save him is the one who wants him silent forever. The idea that his life might end not with a revelation, but with a lie is almost unbearable. Parallel to this quiet horror is Anna's ordeal, unfolding in isolation. She is trapped, both physically and mentally, in a place designed to break her. Her captivity is not just about bars and locks. It is about psychological erosion. Hallucinations plague her, blurring the line between reality and imagination. Each vision weakens her grip on the present, making it harder to resist despair. The longer she remains imprisoned, the more her captors rely on her mind betraying her. Anna's situation feels deliberately cruel. It is as if her freedom is contingent on her reaching the very edge of death. Only when she is close to losing everything does the possibility of rescue appear. This creates a grim paradox. Survival may require surrender, allowing herself to weaken enough to be deemed no longer a threat. Or it may require one last surge of strength, holding on just long enough for someone to find her. That someone might be Emma. Signs begin to surface that Emma could be the key to Anna's rescue. It is a fragile hope, built on instinct and determination rather than certainty. Emma's potential involvement adds a new layer of tension. She is not a seasoned operative like Anna. Her courage is raw, fueled by loyalty and love rather than experience. If she succeeds, it will be against overwhelming odds. If she fails, the consequences could be devastating for both of them. All these threads twist together as February unfolds, creating a narrative where every character is trapped by their own choices. Sonny's attempt to save Michael risks destroying him. Marco's thirst for revenge threatens to consume what remains of his humanity. Drew's silent awareness turns his hospital bed into a prison more cruel than any cell. Anna's fading strength tests the limits of endurance and hope. Each story reflects a different face of desperation, yet they all share a common truth. No one escapes unscarred. The tragedy is not just in the violence or the betrayal, but in the near misses. Truth is always almost revealed. Salvation always just out of reach. Michael remains accused while the real shooter stands at his bedside. Sonny believes he is protecting his family while pulling them deeper into danger. Marco thinks he is honoring his mother while losing himself. Drew knows the truth but cannot speak it. Anna holds on to life while freedom hovers like a mirage. As the month moves forward, the tension does not release. It tightens. Each failed attempt, each delayed rescue, each lie successfully maintained adds weight to the inevitable collapse. When the truth finally emerges, it will not arrive gently. It will tear through relationships, exposing the cost of every decision made in fear and love. In the end, February promises not resolution, but reckoning. The characters are pushed to confront who they are when stripped of control. Heroes make questionable choices. Villains justify themselves with grief. Innocent people suffer while the guilty hide behind masks of care and concern. This is the world of General Hospital at its most unforgiving, where survival often means carrying unbearable guilt, and justice comes too late to undo the damage. The story closes not with peace, but with the heavy understanding that some wounds never fully heal, and some truths, once revealed, change everything forever.